Thanks, Marshall. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Q&A. My name's Gary Grover. I'll be hosting, and Paul Higgins will be driving documentation for us. Well, it is Census Day, first Wednesday in October. Um, doesn't mean that you have to be completed right now. You have, and I think we'll get the calendar up here in a second, but you have a few months to go over your data and get it certified. We do have checklists and things to go through. The initial deadline is December 13th. We're asking LEAs do be approved by that date, and it's also strongly encouraged if SELPAs can get approved. And then use the amendment window if there's any adjustments that need to be made, and the deadline for that is January 24th. If for some reason, if there was wildfires or something that have prevented you guys from working today, then I don't know if you're on this call, but um, it's okay. You have till December 13th. So anything that's happening now can still be reflected in the reports. The data can still be uploaded and errors can still be fixed. There's still 2 months. Hopefully everyone has started in getting their data up and has been checking reports along the way. Other than that, also fall two is you can also be uploading fall two data. The deadline for that is February 28th, and there is no amendment window for that. So you can be doing fall two data as well. Other than that, Angela, did you have any announcements about patches or issues being fixed or anything?
Just the usual that we're up to date on the known and fixed issues on the who's driving Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. On this page. And another update I have is we just received the October direct cert file. It has not loaded. That will happen tonight. So fingers crossed
Yes.
that it looks better tomorrow. I believe that bug that where you have to select all schools rather than one school is fixed. I just didn't update it because the counts were bad anyway. So tomorrow, hopefully everybody has happy direct cert results.
All righty. And
Angela,
Sean,
I literally just sent you an email on that one too.
Oh,
Like literally.
and Sean, did you have any other announcements or
No, all
we're good
good.
to go?
Yes. Dom,
Uh,
pass it over to you if you've got something.
Dominic, anything for the SPED team?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first question I have at 301 is from Soraya. Q1, do all classes included in instructional minute calculations have to be reported in fall two? We heard this from our HR team, but unsure if this is accurate. I am not sure what instructional minute calculations are.
Got it. And I just knew you knew this one too, Gary. Don't worry.
Okay.
Um, so do all of your courses sections, should they be reported for fall two? Soraya, yes, they should. Regarding instructional minutes and time, that is kept in your local SIS system. Um, uh, Paul's driving. Paul, if you can navigate over to the CalPADS calendar page for me. Soraya, underneath the calendar there, you'll note for what it has for CalPADS report 1.17 and your LCFF, but then also for the data that is reported that is approved by December 13th. This is used for your principal apportionment or your P1. And then that data report is, and then the data that's reported on January 24th, the amendment window deadline is used for your P2. And so maybe that's where your HR team is getting a little confused because there is some overlapping data, but regarding actual instructional minutes to CalPADS, no. we don't collect that, but we do collect your programs for your LCFF. And then it shows you when you can be able to correct them. And then if not, if you still need changes after that, that has to be corrected during the audit process. So I hope that's a detailed answer enough to be able to provide you. And Paul, it's at the very, very bottom of the count, that part right there. Yep. Please note.
Perfect. All right. Soraya, I see your Q2, and we'll come back to that one. Eva has a Q1. How long do we have to collect the alternate income forms?
Sorry, back to me. Sorry. So alternate income. Eva, I'm not sure what you mean. Are you just asking for like summer EBT, or are you just asking just for regular school year? And so to answer your question overall, though, do you collect, are we encouraging LEAs to collect the AIFs throughout the year? Yes, we are, because student statuses change. When do you have to be able to submit those forms and those dates? That's going to be in Flash to, I don't know what number we're on right now either.
She's probably asking in the context of LCFF, Sean, and so that's October 31st, right? They have
That's
until
correct.
October
yes.
31st
Okay.
to collect those forms, and I have the FAQ handy, so I'll dig that up and put it in the chat.
Yay, thank you. And then I thought we put it in a chat though, not a chat. I thought we put it in a flash though too recently, Angela, about the August 31st.
October 31st.
I'm sorry, yes, October 31st. I always think Halloween, people, if that helps you.
All right. Okay. Q1 from Becky. Our charter school hires substitutes from teachers on reserve. I have a sub filling a vacancy. This particular sub does have a seat. Should we require the agency to supply us with all the demographics needed for reporting him for fall one? So for courses, if you're not using the teacher of record and you're using the long-term sub, then if you put in a seed in the course, you are going to be required to put in all their information in for fall two in CalPADS.
So requiring it might be hard, but if you can get the information, Brandy always used to say you want to get the information. Since we started doing assignment monitoring for contractors or county personnel that may be serving within your districts, if you can get their information, you want to get it and report them.
Thanks, Nate. Okay, Q1 from Judy. Will SPED services be reported for fall one this year?
So their services would be reported, but report 1615 is not a certification report. So services are not part of the certification for fall one.
Perfect. Thanks, Dominic. Q1 from Marcy. Have you received any information on the issue on if the issues have been fixed and the October direct cert will be accurate? And Angela mentioned that just a little bit ago. We're hoping that is out tomorrow and hopefully it's accurate. I know there was a couple swings and misses with the September one, and hopefully they've got the October one ready to go.
Well, I have not heard, Gary, whether it's accurate or not. I just got the
no.
automated message that from DSS that said, "Hey, we sent the file," but I haven't heard anybody say, "Yeah, it looks good."
Uh-oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So
Now, I would also like to weigh in here and say, in our defense, this time it wasn't our fault. It was not on our end of the equation. It was from the source file from DHS. So
Thanks, Paul.
Thank
cut
you,
us a
Paul.
little bit of
Yes.
slack on this one, please.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that.
Okay, Q1 from Diana. The completion enrollment status was incorrectly reported in CALPADS for one student who should receive a certificate of completion of 120 and not high school diploma 100. The school closed. Who can make corrections in CALPADS for this student? I think you
I'm
could
sorry.
still edit the
Is there a
record.
reason?
The LEA that posted that data can make that correction.
Right.
Or their monitoring authority, so if the school, yeah, if the school closed and it's the district then, Diana, so, they can still make it.
Yeah. Diana, do you know if it's an independently reporting charter? That might put a
That's-
twist on it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out too. That's why I didn't want to go too deep. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it is. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Yikes. Okay,
So they're-
so
It should be their monitoring authority, and if their monitoring authority needs help, then they, please put in a service ticket so we can get them what they need to be able to support.
yeah. Do you know, Sean, if they would have to fill out an LEA admin application form for that LEA? No. Okay.
No, I just have to see that, yeah, that they were listed, that we just have to see in Opus that, not Opus. We just have to see in,
School directory.
thank you. I was like, I'm running out of acronyms today. We just have to see in the school directory that, yes, that school is closed and who their monitoring authority was, and then we can provide them access if they don't already have it.
All right. Next question is from Marina. Q1, I noticed my 1.17 report is not including my TK kinder students. What am I missing? And actually, it looks like Lou answered that question for you. The 1.17 excludes students with a grade level of TK or KN whose 5th birthday is greater than June 2nd of the selected academic year. And she even gave a link. Thanks, Lou.
Paul, you want to show Marina how to get to that? If she was trying to look on her own, where she would find the report mapping guide under help, user manual. He's taking a shortcut. And we have a mapping guide for every report in CalPADS, and it tells you the business rules of how kids are included. And under that basic selection criteria, there's a section there that talks about TK and KN students who are
It's right
not
there. Yep.
5 by the right date. So that's one place to check. And the other thing I was going to say is now that we are running fall winter revisions for 24-25, it helps if you are more explicit when you're talking about a report, if you tell us an ODS report or a snapshot report, and that way we can make sure we're all talking about the same thing.
All right, next question is from Karen. Q1, is the known issue about the CELA ODS related to the fall 1, 2.8 and 2.9 not working? I'm getting an error that reads, an error has occurred during the report processing. Thought maybe they might be connected. Just noticed this.
I thought most of the CELA ones were fixed, the CELA ODS. So no, they would not be related. We would want a ticket on that. But
I'm not sure if something was happening earlier. I got a ticket that was about an hour ago that they were getting this. They said on their snapshot reports, but they didn't say which one. But I just tried one snapshot report and it worked fine for me. So I'm not sure if there was a hiccup or what, if it's still happening. But if it is, put in a ticket and we will follow up. Q1 from Elizabeth. Is there a reason total student count on CERT report 16.12, 16.13, and 16.15 would be different?
It's hard to say specifically, but there is a active known issue that snapshot report 1612 has a lower count compared to 1614. Since 1612 and 13 are informed by report 14, that could be part of it. But there are other reasons you may see counts that seem different. For example, if you adopt an ISP for a student that's transferring into your district or a public school from a private school, that student would appear under the plan type 200 in your 1612 report and also the plan type 100. if you're then serving them on an IEP. So that's something to be cognizant of as well.
Great. All this is starting to come back now because you get back into fall one mode.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Q1 from Sydney. When will the SELPA level 16.24 report be available?
Meredith on?
I don't think so.
I don't see her.
Okay, I found it. SELPA is, doesn't have a target date.
Okay,
So
TBD.
TBD on that one. You don't happen to know, Dominic, do you?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Question one from
Angela,
you.
I'm pretty sure you're in the CR, so if we don't have a date listed there. We don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I'm on the user story is written and ready to go. It just hasn't been assigned and it's not slated for a release yet. Can you ask us again next Wednesday if you're here? Otherwise put in a ticket. I'll see if I can chase that down and figure out why it's not being worked on.
And Dom, it wasn't on the agenda just now?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
All right. Q1 from Yesenia. I have a few certification errors related to SCNR 0041F1. I'm not able to see any information on what this error means. I clicked the error code and the page is not loading. The page states the following: the resource you are looking for has been removed, had its name changed, or is temporarily unavailable. You have a defect on this?
No,
No.
we were just late getting 16.3 airless posted. So Kyron just did it about an hour ago. So try again, Yesenia. It should be there now.
And also there's a defect on that once you click on.
41.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yes.
66999. Okay. Q1 from Cami. I have a question regarding attendance for immunization exclusions. Are they excused absences or unexcused? If they are excused, for how long? Can students be dropped for this if the parent refuses to get the required immunizations? Can they be SARBed? And she says maybe this is not CalPADS.
This is not CalPADS.
Okay.
This is there are local decisions around that. Cami, your LAA should have them. Typically, they're in your parent or family handbook to when students, one, can be SARBed, also two, for their regarding their attendance. Yeah, you're trying to find the resources for this. Yeah, your own materials would be best for those. And typically it's like a page that most people glance over because they don't really read it. Sorry. So yeah, I would start there for you. Typically those absences are unexcused, but again, that's truly a local decision that you all decide. And then if you have a drop policy or so too, it's typically in your handbook that you'll notify parents of when, because there's like a standard template letter that your one of your directors has already written.
Perfect. Okay, Q1 from Maria. I have a high school SPED student that is enrolled in our community school, but is actually attending a private school. I am not sure how I should give him an enrollment in CalPADS.
This sounds like a pretty complicated situation, so I would ask Maria if you could submit a ticket so we can get some more information about the student, where they're enrolled, and that sort of thing, please.
Please include their SSID in the ticket.
Okay. Okay, Q1 from Stephanie. I have a question regarding a student that is speech only on an ISP. The parents requested a full evaluation for IEP services. The parent then declined the offer. Does the LAA need to send the offer made declined to CALPADS as a transaction if the student will remain on the ISP and be switched back to an ISP plan type?
Yeah, you would want to submit the meet record for that initial or full reevaluation, or however you want to describe it. Just, just like you would any other meeting that you hold for the student. And the plan type shouldn't be changing unless they actually accept that offer of FAPE.
Okay, Q1 from Anna. I have a few questions on the same topics. So my question about collecting the F&R forms. We are an independent study program, and since our students are not physically present in school, we are collecting alternative household income forms. Can I use the same calculation scale as the regular F&R forms used in traditional schools to verify their eligibility for free and reduced? Can I collect these forms until October 30th, but it's 31st? Additionally, can the forms be signed after October 2nd and before October 30th, or must the signatures be dated on or before October 2nd? I watched the training video, but I did not receive a clear answer on this matter. I think it's all the way to October 31st, but I'm not sure about the first part with an independent
I don't know
study.
about the scale thing. The same calculation scale as the regular free and reduced forms.
Yeah.
That's a nutrition services question, Anna. But Anna, I'm gonna place in the chat the LCFF frequently asked questions. That might answer some, or at least give you a place to start, especially around the, I don't know what you mean by calculation scale. Like I'm at a total loss for that. And I don't know.
Okay.
Can the forms be signed after October 2nd? The forms just need to be submitted to you by October 31st. You need to receive them by October 31st. And Kyron is typing, so wonderful.
Something.
Thank you.
Type quick, Kyron.
Sean, do they have an email address? I found a phone number, but not an email for nutrition services.
No, they can, no, they don't. Um, so you can, if it's not in the LCFF, then, or what Kyron's finding, if that doesn't help, Anna, you can go ahead and place a ticket. And then we just have to get it over to nutrition services, Angela, and pray
Okay.
somebody.
So
We have to
we'll just
pray.
escalate it up to CDE 2, level 2.
Yep, please. Thank you.
Okay.
And then I gotta pray somebody returns my email.
Yeah, most departments I find on CD's website have an email address at least. I was kind of surprised that they just have a phone number.
Oh, that's been my complaint too.
Especially with, it's a complicated topic. And so we are hesitant to give out bad advice, and so I would rather the experts over there tackle her questions.
All right. Next Q1 is from Larnie. This was a follow-up question from last week. I sent it in as a service ticket, but have not heard back.
Because
Sorry
I
if
have your
missed your
service ticket,
Oh,
Larnie. But I got it, Larnie. I'm working on it. It's you got a few questions. It's a little complex and you have a few questions. So if you can give me some time, I'll gladly respond. But I'm working on some partner responses as well too.
perfect. Thanks, Sean. Okay, Q1 from Lisa. We have students in an adult transition program. How should these students be posted to CalPads? We do not have a special school for this program. Do they go in as grade 12 again at the high school, or would they be adult for the grade level?
They would be grade 12.
All right, so let me jump in because I have kind of a pat answer on this for tickets.
Yay.
So the first grade 12 enrollment should it usually end with an E23120, a completer certificate of completion SPED. Subsequent enrollments for their special education transitional services should be at the school and or the district level, depending on where the services are offered, where that's happening. Primary enrollment, grade 12, SENR field 1.34, which is the adult SPED and transition services indicator, set to yes. Every year that they exit, they complete the year with you and exit, and you're expecting them to come back the next fall, you exit them as E156. On the final enrollment, when they're going to be separating from you forever, it is E125. There you go. All done.
Thanks.
And
Thanks, Paul.
if that was a lot, there's 2 FAQs. Now that Paul's finished that, I'll type in that will reiterate everything he just said.
Awesome.
Thank you both.
Okay. Q1 from Kelly. I'm learning about something new today. Oh boy. Stipulated agreement for expulsion. That's new. I can't find anything about it specifically in the user manual or data guide, but I'm assuming it works the same as regular expulsion, just without the hearing. There should be an incident result of suspension pending expulsion followed by an expulsion. We're a relatively small district and I have never managed an expulsion in CalPADS. Stipulated
Wonderful.
agreement.
So the stipulated agreement for expulsion is something that happens at the local level only, Kelly. So you won't find that information in our CalPADS documentation. And so, or on the CDE website. Basically, and let me try and break this in smaller terms. So basically a stipulated expulsion agreement is basically the student did something and they committed some type of offense. And you all are trying to work with the student and family to keep them in school, provided their behavior, is on a positive trajectory. If not, then you all enforce the expulsion. And so to answer your question though, does it work the same as a regular expulsion? Yes, because what you're still going to enter in is that what they were suspended for. And then what that discipline record, what those look like. But if it escalates and changes to an expulsion, then the result you then report as the expulsion instead of just the suspension. Right, that makes sense. Sorry, it's a fly.
Okay.
I think with the stipulated agreement, sometimes it's that violation of the stipulation in which they need guidance. And in the past, I've said you can report that secondary offense as its own offense with the date, and you don't have to put, you can put no discipline or for the result. And then that original record would be the suspension enforced. And that way you are denoting the violation of the agreement if a second offense or whatever occurred. But Sean was suggesting or telling you the original offense, you want to emphasize that went through with the expulsion.
Thanks, Nate.
Either is fine. They're both showing the same. They're both showing the result though, Nate, right?
So I think the concern though is generally how do you record that extra result because it happens on a different day. But there is no hard fast guidance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Local policy.
you still use the
So you said
incident date, right? Because that's the only date related value in an incident behavior.
Yeah, because I thought they just hold it out then through the count of days.
Okay, so hopefully your question was answered. If you need more explanation, go ahead and put in a service ticket and get more information for you. Next question is from Rigoberto. Q1. New CalPADS user here, working on my first project. Well, welcome to CalPAD. Is there a report on CalPADS I can look at to see which students enrolled with us are eligible participating in programs, specifically Armed Forces program? There is a report. I can't think off the top of my head.
ODS
One-
5.1.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you,
And that's
guys.
today's data. And then you'll certify it later at the end of the school year. So 5.1 is the count, and then it also has a student list underneath it, 5.2. So if you wanted to see the students that are being counted as armed services. And then there is a report mapping guide for that as well. 5.1. Under EUI.
There's the 5.1.
Okay.
Now I'll go over to the CalPADS user manual.
While you're doing that, are there any other new folks here? If you want to type in the chat, are you here from the regional meetings last week and you're here for the first time, or just here for the first time?
Second time. Well, welcome all new users. This is part of the team from CDE and CSIS that are here to help you.
Yeah, I was going to show the new folks, but maybe it's worth showing them again anyway. If you could navigate to the data discrepancy screen, Paul. A couple of things to say about that screen. So these show you a preview of the fatal errors you're going to get if you click apply filters, Paul. Of the errors you're going to get on your fall 1 snapshot ahead of time, not all, but most of them. And what I wanted to point out is that summary grid, date, start and run end times right there at the top there. When you make a change, you find one of these errors and you correct it, it's not going to instantly reflect that change. So we're getting a lot of tickets saying, I have this error, but they just made the correction. So what you need to do is keep an eye on those end dates and times. So if you made it the correction at 11 o'clock this morning, it's not showing there yet because we haven't had a new update on that data discrepancy screen. And Doug Hawkins, I see that you are on this call. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm getting ignored. So I'm trying to chase down. Doug's been asking. He's got his looks like ABC here, where he gets like one in the early morning and then one around 10, and then it kind of stops for the rest of the day. So I'm trying to figure out. We were informed that they were supposed to be running pretty consistently throughout the day, and Doug has made more changes today, and he still has not gotten an updated data discrepancy yet. So I'm trying to figure out if something's blocking or what is our expectation that we can tell our users how frequently this page will get updated. So TBD.
I have one that I've been checking on and off all day. The last
Me
one was
too.
at
I've had
6 a.m. and it hasn't updated yet. We're waiting to clear an error.
I've had Doug's page up since 7:45 this morning.
All right, that's all the Q1s. But last week we went over and we didn't have time for the Q2s. So. But let's go back and we'll go on the Q2s. Soraya's Q2. What other data points will be pulled after the first fall 1 deadline only? We understand the disproportionality data will be, but what about like something like FRPM counts? Will those be locked into the 12/13 date as well, or will amendment window changes be applicable for that data point?
So for special education, including the disproportionality data, we're also going to be pulling the information on your timeline compliance for the annual determination letter. So plan review and eligibility evaluation timelines, if those are overdue or held late, and there's not a valid delay code, those would be the records that are pulled in as of the data that's certified on December 13th.
All right.
As for the other data, I'm not sure. Sorry.
I can take that one. The LCFF P1 is after the December 13th deadline. So definitely want to meet that deadline. Otherwise, they use last year's data and your CBO will not be thrilled about that. So make sure you do certify by the 13th. And then you do have that amendment window if between December 13th and the final deadline, you want to make corrections before they pull P2.
Awesome. All right. And we got another Q1 from Chantel. Last year, TK wasn't included in the ODS 1.17 or 1.18. Should we expect to see them this year? I checked my snapshot 1.17 and ODS 1.17, and the numbers are off by a few hundred kids. TK would not account for that. Should I just give it a day?
No. And Paul has it up. Thank you, Paul. So if you can highlight, Paul, the one where it says the 5th birthday, on or before the June
It's
2nd.
right there in the middle. You're almost there, Paul. Right
there.
One more
Yeah.
down.
There you go.
One more up. There you go.
So that it changed from last year, Chantel, because the dates for TK are changing up until next year. So are TK students included on your 1.17 report and your 1.18? Yes, they are, but it has to fall within that birth date validation. So that's where you're going to be cognizant of. Your other report that's going to include all of your TK students is your 1.1 report that does not have that age factor parameter.
So she mentions she doesn't have any TKs that are not age eligible. So I guess in that case, if they're not showing up on the report, send us a ticket with a couple example SSIDs that that you're expecting to be on the report, and we can.
And they meet these other basic criteria.
Yeah.
We do have an outstanding defect on the total enrollment column, but I don't think that's what she's describing.
So the 1.1 will include TKs, even if they don't meet that TK cutoff. 1.17 and 1.18 will only include TKs who are eligible for TKs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if they're comparing both, then that's also the reason why there's a discrepancy.
Yeah, she said she's comparing snapshot 1.17 to ODS 1.17, and there's just 100 kids discrepancy. So that doesn't seem right. So something might be off there.
So they did update the 1.17 ODS because I know it didn't include TKs at all before, but now it is a selection, right?
Right. I think as part of that transition to real-time ODS reports, they were bringing all the ODS reports up to date with what, to match snapshot. They had been kind of neglected for many years. So I believe TK is automatically included. I'm just double checking. Yes, it should be there.
Okay.
On the ODS, I mean.
Right. So Chantal, we may need a ticket with some example SSIDs in case this is a problem with that report. All right, and Q1 from Charlene. I was checking the CC anomalies. Default year was 23-24 census date. Today it changed to 25-26. Shouldn't the default year be 24-25? Seems like it should be 24-25.
Kyron, you're typing something. Do you want to just say what you're thinking?
Yeah, normally, if you access this page prior to the current census year, it will include prior year census and the 24-25. Once we move over to the new census year, it then looks at 24-25 and then shows you potential CCEs in the new academic year down the road.
But what about the default reporting period? Should that be 24-25?
Yeah, it should. So that's probably a bug.
Oh boy. 7,001 on its way.
No,
Gary,
nope, it's 7,002.
Oh no.
There's a one already in there.
Oh.
We hit a milestone today, folks. We logged our 7,000th production bug.
Oh wait, there it should be it's 7,002 in there now, the Gary.
Oh no, boy. Okay, so
Ellie
it's
says it's happening for her too. So I vaguely remember something about this. I'd have to go read the specifications on it. So Charlene, if you want to put in another ticket, I have your other ticket I'm working on as well. I'll see if I can find that answer for you.
all right, 3:42, and we're out of questions. So last week with Paul, we ran over. We didn't even get to the Q2. Different from week to week. Okay, Larnie has a Q2. Prior to 2023 implementation of the new coding, numeric to alpha of languages, O1 was mapped to Spanish only. After the implementation, O1 or Spanish changed to SPA. Additionally, that code changed the description to Spanish Castilian. Is CDE aware that dashboard showing student demographics, specifically language, there was a shift from counts from Spanish to Spanish Castilian? This is bringing confusion to some of our directors. Is it safe to say Spanish in 22-23 is the same as Spanish Castilian in 23-24? Students being counted on the dashboard under this language are the same for both years.
I would say yes, that is correct. But Larnie, since this is a dashboard question specifically, to know what their calculation is for it or how they're calculating it, if you can go ahead and put that into its dashboard at cde.ca.gov.
All right, end of the questions. We'll give it a minute, and if there's no more questions, we'll give everyone 15 minutes of their day back.
Can I have this time? Just a
Sure,
minute.
Kyron. Yes,
Just
you have the
so
floor.
I'm looking at our last reports and certification training. We only have 43 registered for a 290 limit session for tomorrow. So if you guys want to if you are new and you haven't attended any trainings yet, especially for reports and certification, please do so. Register in our Bridge account, in our Bridge um, learning management system.
What time is the training?
It's at 9 a.m.
9.
And then also, if you don't have a Bridge account and you would like to attend, I'm not sure. Probably send in a ticket. If we have spots for you, we could probably just share the link tomorrow. If there are still spots available, because I just didn't want to waste our time for just 43 attendees. Although those 43 are special, don't
I was gonna say
It's not-
they're
it's not a
important
complete
too.
waste.
they're
I kid.
important. We just want anyone else who's here to avail
Kyron,
of the other sessions.
Can you let level 1 know that you put that announcement out there just so they'll be on the lookout for those tickets? Because that's in the
Yes.
CSIS box.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. My apologies for that.
That's okay. No, I mean I am behind you wanting to recruit more people, especially since this is the last training. So we just need to make sure that we're supporting that.
Yeah, okay. And I'll look at the CalPads website too for any service tickets there.
Also, for the new people, if you would make sure that you put in a service request ticket or something that lets us know that you're new, that way that in the LEA that you're with, that way we can make sure that you're in the contact list if you are the person that's supposed to be contacted, and also put you in contact with your monitor, because I looked up a few and it's not they're not showing in the CRM. So if you just go ahead and put in a service request ticket stating, I'm new, I'm supposed to be doing this, we'll take care of you.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
also, just like Angela said during the quarterly meetings, she, kind of gave a success route for uh, submitting a service desk ticket, and the submission request form was modified to kind of include that breakdown there. So as you're going through the service request, there's a little section now that reads to ensure the best outcome of your request, and then it just includes the suggestions that Angela made during the quarterly. So that's in there too. So that'll help you remind you, just to make sure to include those pieces.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We did get a couple more Q1s. Q1 from Stephanie. Does EL testing continue through the end of October 2?
Let's see, where would we go find that? Help, user manual 1.17.
Wait, which are you talking about? The EL testing or something else?
Or I'm assuming everybody's asking about LCFF, so maybe I'm wrong, but because that you can collect the FRPM apps up until 10/31, but for English learners, they have to be identified as English learner on information day in order to be counted in LCFF. So for testing, Sean, do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
I probably was reading way too much into that because that's
That's what
most
I
of our
thought.
tickets
No.
are LCFF.
And
That's what I thought
I
too.
understand. I don't know if they understood that part though. So I'm gonna have you, Angela, is it okay if I explain and then you repeat? Because I
Sure.
feel like it ties in.
Oh, wait. Oh, she says LCFF.
Oh,
So
then never mind.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can read their minds, Sean.
Yes.
I'm glad
This
because
for
my answer
23
was gonna be
years.
totally different. I was like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, so later under basic selection criteria on this report, there's a section that talks about English learners.
There you go, right
Paul
there.
is highlighting
Mhm.
that for you. I want to say during the first year of the pandemic, they did change that. I think it went all the way
Oh,
up to
right.
the end of
Yeah, they did.
October.
Yes.
Yeah, but because testing was so wacky, but we're back
Because we
to
had to
just
figure out how to test remotely.
exactly. But we're back to census day now, so things are back to normal.
All right. Okay, and Q1 from Doug. Is there a timeline for getting the SPRG and SELA extracts fixed? I believe the SPRG one is fixed now. I think that just went in on Tuesday, but I'm not sure about the SELA.
SELA one that's outstanding is related to taking a really long time, and that's really for LA Unified. If you just search on SELA. So the first one is related to a CDD, so that's not the extract. The second one is it's slow for really large LEAs. And then this one is fix implemented. The user just replied back when we told her that it was fixed. So that should say fix implemented.
Yep. Hopefully it's working for you, Doug.
Yeah, so Doug, if you see anything wrong, please do let us know.
And Q, who cares, from Claudia. The SELA ODS extract now have a record history choice. Record history choice. What is including in yes and what is included in no? So if I got to understand this right, if you say yes, you're going to get their whole history of SELA statuses. And if no, you should just get their most recent record.
And Kyron, I know you added that to the user manual. Do you remember where you put that?
What was that?
The SELA, what the functionality is that Paul's got up on his screen about the SELA history when you're requesting the ODS extract.
Oh, it's in the SELA side. If you go to the CALPADS user manual, go to
Functionality map.
functionality map, online maintenance. So this one just follows the left nav on in CALPADS student maintenance, the first one at the top, and then look for student English language. Oh, you meant the extract. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just all over the place. Go to functionality map and then extract, and then ODS extract. And then on the left side, look for SILA ODS download extracts. So
Oh, it's right at the top there, Paul.
yeah, that's that page. Yeah.
So active is currently enrolled students. Oh, those are the two tabs. Never mind. Sorry. Under notes, Nope, it's not it either. Where did you put it, Aaron?
It's on that section. If you go up, that part under notes, and then you have their record history, all versus most recent. Under the, so it's basically just part of the date range, and then the comparison, the asterisk
I
indicates
gotcha.
that part. Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully we didn't confuse you too much.
No.
Do you only want the most recent record, or do you want to see their progression from TBD to EL to RFEP, et cetera, or you just want to see that latest RFEP record?
Yeah, and Eldrick echoed that it will include their TBD record at all. So if you click yes, you're going to get their entire history, which LAs were asking for quite a bit. Q2 from Chantel, what is the difference between an ODS report and an ODS extract? The ODS reports are reports that look like your snapshot reports, equivalent to the snapshot reports that should be updated in live time now. That was recently changed so that you get, if you make a change in CalPads, you'll get that change showing in the ODS reports, whereas the snapshot reports will only update after a new revision is completed. The ODS extracts are data that is existing in CalPads that you can pull out, and it's in like a text format, and you can, a lot of times you use those to upload to your student information system, or you can use those to upload to CalPads if you're making edits or adjustments or deletions. But one's a report and one's just plain data dump from what's in CalPads. Okay, Ethan has a Q something too. Oh, could we add record history parameter to the SIMP ODS Act too?
Ooh. That would probably break CalPads, Ethan. That's a lot of data. A lot of our SAS vendors, for whatever reason, repost the SIMP every time somebody sends up a SIMP file. So they have a new effective start date is what I mean by that. And so sometimes you'll open up a demographic record and the kid will have like 40 records.
All right, back to the end of the questions. We've got 6 minutes left. You one from Ahoa Yang. ERD anomalies. If a student were considered truant the previous school year with us and were dropped with an E140, but re-enrolled with us again this year, do we remove the E140 from the previous year? Would we change it to a T160? No, I don't think we're asking for LAs to go back and change those because that's what happened. Some cases, ERDs are informational, just to let you know in case it is something that you could should fix. ERDs are not part of the anomaly percentages of that 2% threshold that you need to get. That's just mids and CCEs. So sometimes they're informational. Any last minute questions?
We made it to 3:56. We can give them back 4 minutes.
Now I think I speak for the CD SPED team, but I think the office hours now that we're into fall one, I think those are going to be weekly on Mondays. Is that correct,
Yes,
Tom?
yes.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I probably should have said something about that.
That's okay.
But yes, starting on Monday the 7th, office hours begin weekly every Monday from 3 to 4:30 or so. So please come and join us with all your favorite SPED questions and listen to my dogs bark.
Only when the ice cream man shows up.
But he got a new microphone too, so at least you guys can hear him now.
Okay, hey, I have a question, an answer for Charlene on the one that's still displaying there about the CCE anomalies. It is behaving as designed. So the default says display the snapshot values for the 2 most recent fall 1 snapshots in the calendar. The note says subsequent year should show by fall 1 census day by adding the next academic year to the reporting calendar. That's not quite what I thought it was going to say. Subsequent year should show. Yeah, never mind. I do need to get further information on that, which one it's supposed to be defaulting to.
Okay. Rebecca says, Q1, what happens if we don't resolve ERDs? We didn't even work on them last year. We were just too short-staffed. Well, again, the ERDs aren't included in the anomalies percentage. However, in some cases, you would want to correct them, although maybe that would affect how students are counted. Let's say students shouldn't be graduates or something like that, for whatever exit reason was used. So they should be looked at and corrected if for sure you see that something is amiss.
I would add to that, Gary, that you're right, but also the be a good neighbor theory, that sometimes your ERDs may be impacting your neighboring LEAs. And so, especially if somebody asks you to fix one, that I would definitely respond to those. I understand you're understaffed, but get to them when you can.
Also, if you have a ERDB, which is a dropout, and a student is in his cohort here, that could also be a red flag now for you to look at. That way, you don't have to end up correcting those at the end of the year and trying to trace those students at the end of the year.
Good points. Good points.
Stephanie pointed out the listserv message that went out too.
Yeah, I'm really off my game today.
Dom, it's Census Day. We got stuff flying all over the
announcements.
place.
Gary reminding me of stuff. So yes, we had sent out a listserv message to remind people who use SACE as their special education data system to run a student report. But we did get news from Christy at SACE that they went ahead and ran the report for all districts. So if you were not able to run that report today or you forget, they've already taken care of that for you. And then I know Cyrus has functionality where you can generate historical data. So the concern was mainly with SACE.
Good to hear.
Awesome. It's a little after 4, so thanks everyone for attending. We'll be back again next Wednesday, and do look for the office hours on Monday at the same time, 3 o'clock. Thanks everyone. Thanks for all the help. See you later.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.